Hello guys, and welcome back to I Never Knew That. So if you watched last week's video, you will know that today we are going to be talking about flat earth. So when a lot of people hear the term flat earth, they often think it's kind of a joke or that they don't really take it very seriously. Well, there's actually a very large group of people that do believe in flat earth, and to them the theory is quite real. While I was researching the topic, I was actually very impressed with how professional the Flat Earth Society is and how convincing some of their arguments are. So rather obviously, like the theory says, it's a flat earth, so instead of being a sphere, the model says that it's a disk with all the continents radiating out of the center and Antarctica being the ice around the edge of the disk. Now I would like to say that even though the flat earthers believe the earth is a disk shape, they do not believe that the other planets are, they only believe that the earth is. Now some believe that some other planets might be flat, but for the vast majority of flat earthers, they only believe that the earth is flat. In various interviews with famous flat earthers, they have often said that they are not entirely sure that the earth is flat, but instead when they look at the evidence for a round earth and the evidence for a flat earth, it's much easier to believe and to prove the evidence for the flat earth to be true. So the Flat Earth Society is actually a very large organization. They're equipped with a website and they have a fairly large presence on pretty much all social media platforms. And it's very interesting to see what they define a planet as. So Pete Savarier, a member of the Flat Earth Society who manages their social medias, posted this on Twitter. Quote, "Our definition of a planet is not too far removed from the mainstream. It's still a spherical body orbiting a star, massive enough to be held together by its own gravity, but not so massive as to cause thermonuclear fusion by itself." End quote. And that's a rather interesting statement because it shows that they believe everything works the same, that the earth is orbiting the sun and that there are moons around the earth, and that most everything in physics exists, except the only difference is that the earth is flat instead of round. Now as I said, the Flat Earth Society does have a website, and I'll put a link to their website in the description below if you'd be interested in seeing it. But one thing that's very interesting on their website is their frequently asked questions page. And they have a lot of interesting arguments against flat earth and their answers towards it. And I want to go over a couple of those right now. So a very common argument raised by people who believe in a round earth is that there have obviously been photos taken from space and that people have been to space, and the photos and the people all say that there was a round earth. Well, the response to this argument on the website of the Flat Earth Society is that since there was a very large space race between the countries, each country wanted to win, so what they would do is to actually fake the space missions. So this is one answer, that the space missions never happened. And they also say that companies like NASA, who weren't trying to actually disprove flat earth theory, it's just that at the time they believed in a round earth, and that's the model they worked with. So that's what they made their photos look like when they generated a fake photo to supposedly prove they'd gone to space, where actually they had faked the mission. So because of this, there's actually a fairly large number of flat earthers who are also believers in the conspiracy theory that the space missions never took place. Another explanation for this argument that allows for the space missions to have been true is the use of a wide-angle lens. Because some of you might know that if you use a wide-angle lens, you get distortion and things appear round, or especially in a fisheye. Everything appears rounded and curved around the lens. And if the earth was flat and you used like a very large fisheye lens, it would have appeared round in the photo. So there's the other explanation that the space missions did take place, but the photos were taken with a very wide angle lens, causing the earth to look round instead of flat. Alright, so the next argument we're going to go over is that if the earth was a very large disk, wouldn't gravity pull it into a sphere? So the flat earthers' answer to this is that either gravity is a much weaker force than is commonly taught or is commonly believed to be, or that gravity does not exist at all as we know it to. So normally think of gravity as a force that pulls things towards it. Well, the flat earthers think that what we're thinking is gravity is actually the earth constantly accelerating upwards. Similar to the effect you feel when you're pushed into your seat because of a car or airplane accelerating really fast. Now you might think that this would break physics because if you constantly accelerate, then you're going to break the speed of light, and you can't do that. Well, according to Einstein's special relativity theory, some flat earth scientists have been able to say that it is possible for you to continuously accelerate but never actually go past the speed of light. And there are some other theories that flat earthers use to explain what we experience as gravity, but they're very complex and we're not going to go into them in the video. Alright, so the last problem we're going to talk about is the Bedford level experiments. So this is a very interesting experiment that was actually done instead of just theories thrown out, like about gravity or about space photos being taken with a wide-angle lens. This one actually took place and it's very interesting. So obviously, if the Earth is round, and you go on a point on the Earth and you go out a mile, then if you're still staying on the Earth 1 mile later, you're going to be lower down because the Earth is rounded than your starting point, right? So there's an experiment done on the old Bedford River in Virginia where a guy is on a boat in a lake and he has another boat go out 6 miles away from him. And if the Earth was rounded, then the second boat should have been 11 feet below the line of sight of the first boat. Well, when looking through a telescope in the first boat, it was still possible to see the second boat that was 6 miles away, which should have been 11 feet below the line of sight. After seeing this, the man doing the experiment decided that the Earth was flat because that was pretty much the only way to explain this at the time. Well, now we know that because of atmospheric refraction, light bends around the Earth, so if you look, you can still see around the curvature of the Earth because the light is bending with the curvature of the Earth if the Earth is round. So there are a lot of arguments for the round Earth, and the round Earth theory is the most scientifically backed up. There are still a lot of believers in the Flat Earth Society, and they actually have some very good arguments that are kind of hard to disprove, but it can be done. So take it as you may, some people believe in it and some people don't. Alright, well now we've come to the end of our video and it is time to draw a topic for next week. So let's get our cup and let's see what our next topic will be. It is the Weimar Republic. I have never heard of this and I have no idea what to expect. So I'm going to study this for a week and I'll be back with another video next week talking about the Weimar Republic. Thank you for watching. Bye.